Applause good for your first act, Paul Ricketts.
Evening. It's good to be back in Glasgow again. The last gig I did in Scotland was in Paisley. I was a bit nervous. I was stood in the wings, waiting to go on, and I was listening to the compere. He was on stage. He was telling the audience that the next act has come all the way from London. And suddenly, as soon as he said that, the crowd booed. And I'm stood there in the wings thinking, Jesus Christ, they don't even know I'm black yet, do they? Tough gig. I can compare Glasgow and London, and I say this about Glasgow: you have a strong sense, city identity, working class city identity, whereas London doesn't have that, because London is dominated by people who come into London and become successful. So that's why 70% of all comics live in London, right? And they do London material, which I don't like. Hi guys, hi. Are we good? Are we good? I take that as a yes. I've just moved to London, really rough area, Wimbledon. It's really stabby. I mean, obviously, in the summer, it's a bit new ballsy and rackety, but in the winter, stabby. With all those feral wombles just wandering around with their recycled Stanley knives. And guys, have you heard about the night bus? Have you heard about the night bus? I went on the night bus once, and excuse the patois. And this young guy comes up to me and goes, "Yo, blood, give me your iPhone or I'll stab you in it." And all I can think is, he shouldn't be driving the bus. Boom. And the other thing about this sort of material, it doesn't sort of take into account the changing nature of London. So I'm walking down to Dalston Junction, which is the sort of urban multicultural heart of East London. I walked down the street and I saw a group of young lads sort of outside what I thought was a chicken shop, and normally what I would do would cross over the road. But as I got closer, I realised they weren't urban youth. They had no hoodies, no batty riders on. As I got closer still, I realised what they were, of course, were hipsters. Hipsters sometimes with 1, 2, even 3 haircuts on the same head. As I got closer to him, one of them started lunging at me like Russell Brand outside a polling booth. And he just says to me, he goes, "Yo, Rasta, chill your boots." And I'm like, "What? How can I help you?" He says, "Well, my friend Josh here, he'd like to have some of your urban authenticity. But I'm looking for a new crib in the area. I'm looking for a new gaff. I'd even contemplate ex-council. Could you help me with some information about rental accommodation in the area?" I said, "Look, mate, I can't help you." And that's when I realised I was completely surrounded by hipsters. Hipsters everywhere. I was the only black man in Dalston Junction. For the first time in my life, I felt like an ethnic minority. Then one of them points at me and he goes, I think he's behind in the rent." They started chasing me. I could see their man bags flapping in the wind behind them. Beads of sweat on their glossy, full beards, the squeak of their Converse boots. Some of them were chasing me on Boris bikes. Then I saw the night bus, Sanctuary, the night bus. I ran, got on the night bus, top deck, no Sanctuary there. Just more hipsters talking on their iPhones in English. I felt like Nigel Farage, really uncomfortable. Yo. I was like, wowza. And yeah, he was like, yo, that's so orcs. Yeah. And then she was like, yeah, it's amazing. None of us know the difference between a simile and a metaphor. Yeah. Yeah, it was a fantastic night, yeah. Josh was there, yeah, with his friend Josh, yeah. And Scouse Josh, yes, the one from Manchester, yeah. Yeah, he was there with his girlfriend Josh. Yeah. For the first time in my life, I was the hardest man on the top deck of a night bus. So I took his iPhone and I stabbed him. Thank you, good night.
Let's hear it, ladies and gentlemen, for Paul Ricketts.